Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing how I organize my craft room. I'm showing a few clips from the video here. I moved into a new house 7 months ago and I'm finally getting around to organizing it. I hope you enjoyed this video and find it helpful. If so, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed if you are new, and let's just get straight into the video. I picked up this cord organizer from Amazon. Amazon sells a small and a large size. I decided to buy a large one. I saw someone share it on TikTok and thought it looked really neat. I'll have this linked below in my description box along with the other products I used to organize my craft room in this video. Here's the big pile of cords that I always have under my desk. I have a lot with my Cricut machines, printer, and filming equipment. First, I just straightened out all of the cords. Then I placed the power strip inside along with the cords. I also love that this is big enough that it fits the power strip. I'm not sure if the small one does or not. When I was done, all I had to do is place the lid on top, and here's a before and after of how it looks. It's kind of crazy how much better it looks. Here's a cube shelf that I have in my craft room. I bought this from IKEA. You can find some similar ones from Target if you don't have IKEA close to you, but this is great for a lot of my craft supplies and for my Cricut blanks. First, I'm just going to organize these bins and then I'm going to add labels to them. In this first basket, I have adhesive vinyl blanks. I decided to go through and organize these and get rid of what I wasn't using. I try to declutter my blank projects pretty regularly because I have a hard time working with clutter, and if I haven't used it, then I know I'm most likely not going to. I have HTV or iron-on blanks in the next basket. I just purchased these lamb stuffed animals since we are expecting a baby in February and I want to try personalizing it with sublimation. I just went through and folded everything that was in here. While you're watching the video, I would love if you commented and let me know what your favorite way to organize in your craft room is. There's so many different ways to do it and it's always fun to see all the different ways. I have felt, twine, ribbon, and yarn in the next basket. I went through and organized this as well. The ribbon was all over the place. If you have any ribbon organization ideas, I would love to hear it. Eventually, I might not leave it in this basket. In the last basket that I have, it holds canvases and frames. Here I'm just cleaning out the shelves before I add my baskets back in. You can't really see it, but there's glitter over here that my daughter had spilled. Here's two other bins that I'm going to be adding labels to. One bin has paint, spray paint, sealers, and that type of stuff. And my other one is basically my craft room junk drawer. It has a lot of miscellaneous things. I picked up bin labels from Target. You get 3 in a pack for $7, which I thought was somewhat pricey, but they are metal and good quality. What I really like about these is that the label doesn't have to be permanent. If you want to switch it out, all you have to do is switch out the paper. I'm going to be using my own cardstock and have the Cricut draw out the labels. You can see the back bends up just a little, so this can fit several different bin sizes. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab a square. I'm going to make this square the size of those card inserts inside of my bin labels. I'm going to unlock this. The width is 3.375 and the height is 1.75. I'm going to make this white and I'm going to be making 6 of these, so I'm going to come up here and duplicate it so that I have 6 rectangles. Here's my rectangles, and what I'm going to do with this is have the Cricut write out the labels for me. It'll just look really uniform and nice this way. I need to find a writing font, so I'm going to go to text. I'll go up to font, And then I am going to go over to my filters and I'm just going to select writing. This will pull up all of the writing fonts in Cricut Design Space. So now I'll just click on filters again so that I can scroll through here. These are all of the writing fonts in Cricut. I have Cricut Access, so it's covered under that. If you don't have Cricut Access, then a lot of times you have to pay for the font. Sometimes you can find some thin fonts on dafont.com and use those as writing fonts though. The one I'm going to be using is BFC Blueberry Pancake, so I'll select that one. First, I'm going to type in adhesive vinyl blanks. When I go up to here and switch it to pen, you can see that it looks like it's not a writing font. It has those bubble letters. And I was confused when this first happened, and I realized you have to go to style up here, select it, and select writing, and it'll switch it to the writing font. Now what I'm gonna do is go over to alignment and hit center. And I'm gonna bring my line spacing in so there's not as much space in between. It'll make it fit a little bit better inside the rectangle. Okay, I like how that looks. I'm just gonna bring this down a little bit. Also, with the cardstock, there is metal that goes over it just a little bit in some spots, so I don't want to have it filled all the way up. I want it to come down just a little bit. I have this fitting in here how I would like it, but I will show you how I figure out the sizing. I also want this space to be the same for all of them, so if I go back to my text and type in HTV blanks, I'm going to go back to my alignment and hit center. And if I click on adhesive vinyl blanks, my line space is -2.6. I'm just going to double click, and you want to make sure that you have that negative selected. And I'm going to hit Command C on my keyboard to copy it. Then I'm going to go over to HTV blanks. I'm going to double click and I'll hit Command V to paste it, and I'll hit enter. So I'm going to make the line space this same number for all of them. Okay, so now to figure out the sizing, I'm going to click on my adhesive vinyl blanks, and I'm going to go over to my font size, and it says 48.58. I'm just going to make it an even 49. Then I'm just going to make the rest of them 49 for the font size. This one, it does make it smaller fitting in here. So you can do this however you want if you're making labels, but it makes the letters the exact same. If I try to make this bigger, it makes the letters bigger, which I think still looks okay, but I like it looking more uniform. So I'm going to hit undo. And I am just going to keep it at that 49 font size. And I'll do that for the rest of these. I like how that looks. Now I need to center all of these. So I'm going to highlight over my square and my text. Then I'm just going to go to align and center. Also, while that's still selected, I am going to go down and select attach. I want to attach the writing font to my square because then the Cricut will cut out around this rectangle. So now I'm just going to do the same thing for these. Now that I have all of this attached, I'm ready to click Make It. I'm using my Maker 3. You can use any of the machines, the Cricut Joy, Explore, Maker. I'm going to select on a mat. My cardstock that I'm using is 8.5 by 11, and this automatically selects 12 by 12, so I need to change this. That looks good. I'll hit continue. I'm going to be using heavy cardstock for this, so I will select browse all material, and I'm just going to type in heavy and hit enter, and I'll select heavy cardstock and I'll hit done. The Cricut's going to draw with the pen first, then it's going to cut out those rectangles. I'm using the black Cricut pen and place it in the machine. I didn't have any white heavy cardstock, so I'm using, it's kind of like a cream or pinkish color. The Cricut will draw first, then cut out each rectangle. For some reason, I just love watching the Cricut draw. I always bend my Cricut mat backwards just to prevent bending my paper. Look how cute this looks. I also love this font. Now I'm just taking out the paper that it came with and adding in my own cardstock. Here's how they look close up. Now I'm ready to just add them to my baskets. I do have some holiday blanks like these Christmas ones that I keep in these Latchmate bins from Michaels, and I just keep them in my storage room to give me more space in my craft room. I want to show a couple other storage ideas on my cube shelves. I keep my 8.5 by 11 cardstock in these magazine files from IKEA. I keep some of my paint and glitter on this double-tiered Lazy Susan. It doesn't fit my taller paints though, and I keep all of my glue products in this bin here. I also want to show you where I keep my Cricut Joy and Cricut Joy material on my cube shelf. I found this really cute bin from Michaels. It has a little top tray where I keep a couple tools, and then I just keep the Cricut Joy mats, cards, and cord inside. Next, I want to show you how I organize my mats. I use command hooks, and I'm going to attach it to my cube shelves. I've been hanging my Cricut mats on command hooks for quite a few years now. We just recently moved, actually it's been about 8 months now, and I'm finally getting command hooks up to hang up my mats in my new office and craft room in the new house. What I like about the command hooks is you can stick it to a shelf, a cart, a wall, and hanging the mats saves a lot of space. On this side of the shelf, I put my green, blue, and purple mats. On the other side, I put my 12 by 24 green mats and my pink mat. It's kind of in the corner there, so it was difficult to film, so I didn't get a video of that side. Here's my heat press area in my craft room. I knew I wanted a specific heat press station, and I was looking for a cart to place everything on, and I saw Carly Hall shared this cart from IKEA. I did have to add a larger tabletop on top. She did as well, and I bought that from IKEA also. This area needs a little bit of organization, so I bought this basket from Target, and I'm just going to place some things in there and get this organized. In my basket, I put my Teflon sheets that I use with my heat presses, infusible ink blanks, my t-shirt measurement guides, and some of the products that I use for sublimation. It definitely looks less cluttered with everything in the basket. Here's a quick before and after of how it looks. Next, I am going to organize all of my scrap vinyl, my adhesive, and my HTV/iron-on vinyl. I picked up these 2 file boxes from Target. One is going to hold my scrap vinyl and HTV, and the other one is going to hold my cardstock. I bought these hanging file folders from Target also. They are $7 for a 6-pack, which I feel like is pretty pricey, and I had to keep buying more because I had so many scrap vinyl. These were the only cute ones I could find though. I searched all over online, and there's so many just like not cute ones, and I just felt like for me it was worth it to buy the cuter ones. Here I'm just separating out the different types of vinyl. I'm just making a pile of adhesive vinyl and a pile of HTV or iron-on vinyl. Here is my adhesive vinyl, and over here is my HTV pile, and this whole pile here is all adhesive vinyl. I separated it out by color. I have some lighter and darker colors, as you can see, with like the pink, purple, blue, but I decided to group it all together. And I also have pattern, shimmer, and holographic, and also Dollar Tree separated out. Now I'm just going to go through and put each color in a separate file folder. Most of the vinyl is permanent vinyl because that's what I use the majority of the time, but I do have some removable vinyl in here. I also have a mix of different brands like Oracal, Cricut, Tech Wrap, but I'm only sorting by color. The majority of the time you just need to look at the backing of the vinyl and it'll tell you if it's permanent or removable, and some will say what brand it is. So I'm going to give it a try like this and see if this system works for me. Next, I'm moving on to HTV or my iron-on vinyl, and this will go towards the back of the file bin, and I am organizing this the same exact way by color. I have some Caesar HTV, which is what I use a lot, and I have some Cricut. Like I said earlier, I had to keep going to Target to pick up these hanging file folders because I kept needing more. So I'm very thankful for Target pickup because I think I used it like 4 times. As you can see, this white vinyl looks very similar, but if you turn it around, you can see one says 651 Oracal, which is permanent vinyl, and the other one says 631, which is removable, so that's an easy way to tell the two apart. These file folders come with labels. I thought about having the Cricut draw on it. I also thought about taking the vinyl and putting it actually on there, but I have different shades of colors, so I decided it would just be easier just to handwrite it myself. I also want to mention I used to store my scrap vinyl in a binder. I shared that in my hacks video a few years ago, but it was getting where I had too many scraps, they were falling out and hard to see, so I knew I wanted a different system. I thought about using an accordion file, which is a good option, especially if you don't have a lot of space, but I saw another Cricut YouTuber, Bethany, use file bins like these, and I thought it was genius. She has an amazing Cricut channel and she makes really beautiful projects. I'll link her channel below if you want to follow her as well. Here's how it turned out. I love how this looks, and I also love how easy it is to look through and find what vinyl I'm looking for. It's nice and open. My only problem was I wanted it to fit on my cube shelf, and it's just barely too big. So for now, I'm just setting it underneath my desk. Here's how I've been storing my cardstock in zip pouches from the Dollar Tree. You can also find pouches like that on Amazon, which is a really good way to store it as well. So there's another idea, but I have all of these separated by color, and I am going to put these cardstock in the other file bin, basically the same way that I did the vinyl. I went through and labeled these as well. I found some stencil vinyl scraps, and I made one more folder with it being Oracal 813 stencil, and I added that to my vinyl file bin. Next, I'm going to organize my rolls of vinyl. I'm going to use tape to hold the rolls together. I bought this painter's tape off Amazon. It's supposed to be pink, but it looks more purple. I decided to write what type of vinyl it is on the tape to help me easily find what I'm looking for. I bought these rubber bands on Amazon to help hold the vinyl in place. This smart vinyl has a thicker backing, so the tape didn't want to stick down as well. You can also use washi tape to make it look a little cuter, but I found that only works with certain type of vinyl that isn't very heavy. Otherwise, it just wasn't sticky enough, so the painter's tape worked better for me. Here's my rolls of vinyl with everything labeled. Now I'm going to separate these into 2 different piles of adhesive vinyl and HTV or iron-on, kind of like I did with my scrap vinyl. I used to store my vinyl rolls in the IKEA plastic bag dispensers. This is a very popular way to store vinyl in the Cricut community, and it worked well, but I was running out of wall space for them, especially when I moved. I didn't have as much in my new room. I also tried storing them in Latchmate storage bins from Michaels, and they even have a little insert inside to help hold the vinyl in place, which is another really good option. I'll put a picture on the screen here. But I found Alex drawers from IKEA about a year ago, and I decided I wanted to store my rolls of vinyl in there, but they've been out of stock forever, so I finally bought something similar on Amazon, and then they finally came back in stock, but the Amazon drawers work really well too. Here's one of the drawers that I bought off of Amazon. I'm adding my vinyl rolls in here, separating them by different types of vinyl. Here's the other drawer system I found on Amazon. And just a warning, if you purchase these, the vinyl rolls don't fit vertically in the drawers. They aren't deep enough. So I have different things like infusible ink in the first two drawers. In the third drawer, I have printable vinyl materials. In the fourth drawer, I have my leather. And the last drawer is empty, but I ended up putting scrap infusible ink and printable vinyl in that drawer. On the other side, I decided to store my transfer tapes on the top shelf, and the bottom shelf, I am just storing some of my organization supplies. Now I'm just going to make some labels for my drawers that are holding my vinyl, and also different materials like infusible ink and leather and things like that. I'm going to go to my text, and I decided for my font I'm going to use Senti. I already have that selected, and I'm just going to start typing in my different material types. Okay, these are all of the labels that I'm going to be using. Where it says solid vinyl, pattern vinyl, that's all my adhesive vinyl. And then down here, I just wrote HTV. Some of it is Cricut, which is considered iron-on, but just for the labels, I figured it would be easier just to write HTV for all of them. For this one and this one, I'm going to center these. So I'll go to align and center, and then I'm going to bring the line spacing in a little bit. So my line space is -1.5. So I'm going to copy that and make that the same for this other one. I'll just hit paste. And then I'm going to go to align and center for that one also. Now I'm going to figure out my sizing. For my height, I want it to be about 1.5 inches. I don't really want it bigger than that. And I'm going to grab one of my biggest words here, and I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to go up to my height and make it 1.5. And that makes it about 5.7 for the width. So now I just want to make the rest of these that size. So what I'm going to do is just change this to 54 to make it an even number. And using this font size up here, I'm just going to change all of these to that same font size so that they all match. Now I'm just going to decide the colors. I'm using Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl, and I have 3 different colors here that I'm going to rotate. So the first one I'm going to have pink, and then the next one's a coral color, but I'm just going to use this like orange color. The last one is tangerine, so that's actually kind of a yellow color too, but I think I'll just do orange. It doesn't have to match exactly, just as long as they're all separate and show up on different mats. So now I'm just going to have these each rotate. And honestly, this one is so similar, I want it to look a little different. So I think I'm going to make it like a darker orange. I have all that done. I'm going to go up here and change this from Maker 3 to Cricut Joy, and I'll select Make It. I'm going to select without a mat because I'm using Cricut Smart Vinyl, and I'll hit done. For some reason the Smart Vinyl, the A and R is filled in. I'm going to try it and hope that it still works, so we'll see. So I'll hit continue. I'm going to switch over to Popular, and then I'm going to select Smart Vinyl Permanent. I load the Smart Vinyl into the Cricut Joy, and I will have it cut out all of the pieces of vinyl. As you can see, it didn't cut the A and the R out correctly. I went back in and ungrouped the letters in Cricut Design Space, and then I welded them together, and somehow that fixed it. I had the Cricut cut out just the word smart, and then I'll just add it to my other vinyl sheet. Here, I'm just weeding out all of the vinyl. Now I'm ready to add the vinyl to each drawer. I added transfer tape to the vinyl pieces and applied that to the drawer, then removed the transfer tape. The Cricut Smart Vinyl can be really difficult to apply. I recommend just scraping it down as hard as you can, then slowly removing the transfer tape. I sped it up here so it looks like I easily applied this, but it definitely got frustrating and was not as easy as it looked. Here's how it looks. I love the colors that I chose, but as you can see, I messed up the color pattern somehow. I shared that on Instagram and someone just suggested switching out the drawers, which I don't know why I didn't even think about that, but it was an easy fix. Now I'm just adding vinyl to these drawers. I was using that same Smart Vinyl, so I did struggle a little bit with this as well. Somehow I messed up the color pattern with this one also. Not sure where I went wrong, but it was easy to fix by just switching out the two infusible ink drawers. Here's how I have the drawers and my file bins arranged kind of around my desk. Above my desk I have 4 IKEA pegboards. I've been using pegboards for I think 4 years now. They are amazing for craft storage and I highly recommend them. I also have this tower that holds my 12 by 12 storage bins. I bought both from Michaels. These hold all of my 12 by 12 sheets of materials. I have adhesive vinyl, HTV, stencil vinyl, cardstock, wood, foil, and foam. I decided to add vinyl to these as well with the same Smart Vinyl. I cut these out the same way that I did in Cricut Design Space as the other drawers. I keep looking for the link to this tower from Michaels, and I think they still sell it, but I can't find it on their website. I'll keep looking for it and I'll link it if I can find it. I'm on to the last part of this organizational video. I have these drawers under my desk and this cord drawer is a little out of control, so I am going to organize that. I also want to show you this top drawer. I found these white storage trays from Target. They are perfect to organize random knickknacks like these. The bins are really inexpensive also. I purchased these photo cases at Michaels. You can find these on Amazon as well, but I was able to use a 40% off at Michaels, and I am going to be putting my cords in these. Here, I'm just organizing my mess of cords. I'm sure everybody has a mess of cords at their house. I decided just to organize it into different categories first to make it a little bit easier. Sadly, the Cricut cord doesn't fit inside of these, so I rolled up the cords and put them in the back of my desk drawer. I have a lot of hard drives to store my videos and family pictures on, and these fit well in here. I also have a lot of Cricut USB cords, and I could probably get rid of some of these because I use Bluetooth for all of my machines. I didn't get around to labeling these. The video was just getting too long, but I might go back and put labels on them. You can put these back in that original case that it came in, but I am just setting these inside my drawer. And here's a quick before and after. It looks so much better. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your favorite organizational idea from this video, and I'd love to hear how you organize your craft room as well. I also want to do a dedicated craft room tour video at some point, so definitely subscribe if you are new so you don't miss that. I would love to have you here.